So good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is John Sharkey, as I said earlier, from Sonas Consulting Group. You're very welcome. I'm really excited to share what I have in the time available to me. I consider this a very important piece of personal development information, and what I'm going to share, I hope it's going to bring some value to you, and you'll walk away at the end of this in 10 minutes and have something to have a look in your own life, because I believe everybody wants to move forward and everybody wants to improve and grow and develop themselves, even though they might not say it on a daily basis or verbally say it. I believe when you have an understanding of these 6 core needs, you'll certainly be a little bit clearer. I know some people have heard of the 6 core. I'm wondering, has anybody heard of the 6 core needs? Yeah, there's a few people who've heard of the 6 core, and I've shared it with many people because I believe it's a very important piece of the jig puzzle of being a human being. This is very much developed by Tony or Anthony Robbins out of America with some science behind it. And what they discovered when they filtered this all down from a human perspective, that these are the core needs of almost, well, every human being on the planet. I'm just wondering, if you had an understanding of this, do you believe it would bring some value to you, your life, and perhaps your organization?
Yes.
Wonderful. Because part of what I do is, part of the coaching that I do, I also go into organizations, and I help organizations grow and develop together from a human potential perspective. And that translates, I believe, across to the bottom line down the track. So, 6 core needs. Every human being on the planet, that's 7 billion people on the planet with this core need. And before I get into the core needs individually, these core needs will be met either positively or negatively, or in coaching we like to say resourcefully or unresourcefully. So the first core need of every human being is certainty. Most human beings don't like change. In fact, I overheard somebody saying this morning that they don't like change. And the important thing is that if you perhaps don't embrace change so easily, it might actually be potentially to hold you back. And most people like to know that they're going to turn up to work every day. They want to know the building is going to be there. They want to know the house is going to be there. They want to know they're going to get paid every week. They want to know that their lives are going to be controlled. They want to control their lives. They want to feel that they are in control of their external environment. The thing is, certainty doesn't exist. Certainty is an illusion, because your life can change in a second. And we've all had experience of that. Perhaps somebody passing, perhaps a retrenchment in a job, perhaps a relationship going pear-shaped. So there's a lot of things that can happen that can take that certainty away from us. Now, getting certainty resourcefully can be done by having certainty of the self. So what I mean by that is you can have certainty by going to the gym. You can have certainty by having a wonderful relationship. But either way, you will meet certainty either resourcefully or unresourcefully. The second core need is significance. Significance is generally ego-driven. And the ego, for anybody who doesn't understand what the ego is that little voice in your head saying, no, you can't do that. The interesting thing about the ego is the ego was developed when you were very young, at about 5 years of age. And so therefore, basically, when you hear the ego speaking to you, it's generally a 5-year-old. So it's not always, its job essentially is to keep you alive, to keep you safe, to keep you out of harm's way. And it's done a great job at that, obviously because you're here. So the significance that you can get can be in the workplace, for example, can be through shouting. People can get significance in the workplace through bullying people. You always notice that in certain organizations, there's always that some person who creates the drama. There's always that person who doesn't want to work with the team. Who doesn't want to help move things forward. And that's an unresourceful way of getting your significance. A great way of getting significance is perhaps stepping up as a leader, perhaps becoming involved as a committee member in a B&I arena, perhaps entering a competition, perhaps doing something in your business by contributing more to society and the group as a whole. That either way, you're going to meet this need for significance. The third core need is variety. So to say variety is the spice of life. And that's for a very good reason. And you will again either meet it resourcefully or unresourcefully. So a great way that people meet variety is perhaps they like to dine out a lot and try different foods. Perhaps they like to try different careers. Perhaps they like to fly up to Queensland and take part in competitions. That's a great way of creating variety in your life and allowing you to move forward to experience new things. As human beings, we can become bored. And as you get bored, then you'll start to create variety unresourcefully. You can do that in your relationships, for example. You might decide to pick a fight. You might decide that in your organization that you're not happy with something. You might decide to start pushing up against the missions and the values of the organization, which then perhaps is not the most conducive thing within the company. The last three that I'm going to talk with you are perhaps the most important. I consider them the most important because they are the ones that determine the quality of your life. And most of the growth and contribution this is perhaps my favorite because I'm very much about growing and contributing, not just to myself, but to greater good. So what do I mean by that? I mean there's a certain ecology that I think is important for people to have in their lives. And what I mean is that in order to grow, you're either green and growing, if we take a lesson from nature, or you're brown and rotting. So you look at nature around you, and the grass doesn't grow one blade at a time, it grows all together. A tree doesn't grow one trunk at a time, it grows all together. It's the same with being a human being. Human beings grow all at once when they're open to development. So therefore, people that are successful are generally successful across many areas of their life because they grow all at once. However, the more you focus on one area, for example, finances, relationship, and career, you'll find that that area will exponentially grow. So growth and contribution can be got significantly, or can be got resourcefully or unresourcefully. And getting it unresourcefully is not going to serve you from an ecology point of view. In ecology, I mean, it's good for you, it's good for others, and it's good for the greater good. Love. Love is also attached to growth and contribution. Your love of what you do and your love of those in and around your life. You can get love from your relationships. How many times have you spoken to somebody and said, I love what I do. I'm so happy about what I do. You will automatically want to move towards those people. And I enjoy coming to BNI because I believe that most people in the BNI chapter love what they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. I particularly love coming in and getting a high five in the morning because it raises the energy of the room. And although you may not be consciously aware of that, it brings people up and people become drawn to that. It makes you attractive. And people love to be around people who love what they do they not? Yeah, absolutely. You can get love in a negative sense. You can get love through alcohol. You can get love through unhappy relationships. You can get love by choosing jobs that you don't enjoy. So you will always get it positively or you get it negatively. The final one is connection. And connection is what brings all of these together. The significance, the certainty, the variety, the growth, the contribution, and the love, all of these are actually all linked to each other. You can see that when you have certainty in your life and certainty of self, that you bring significance to yourself and to those around you. You bring the variety of what you do and why you do it. You also bring the growth and the contribution, and from that, the love and the connection is all just going to roll and fall into place. So when I go into an organization and I talk about all of these 6 core needs, most people have never heard of them. When you start to examine the areas of your life of where you get it and where you don't get it, it gives you the tools to be able to choose, do I want it this way, or do I want it that way? For me, I believe resourcefulness is within all of us. The resourcefulness and the answers are already there. Sometimes you become disconnected from it, particularly the 6 core needs, especially if you're not aware of it. My job as a coach and a facilitator and a trainer, I believe, is to go in and to connect people with their 6 core needs. I trust this has been of value to you this morning.